The name is Neberson Dolius. I would like to take this time to say thank you to all the young, beautiful white people throughout the world who has shown us empathy and compassion toward our cause that we have been dealing with for the past 400 plus years. My four boys and I, from the bottom of our heart, want to say thank you. Thank you for finally standing up and saying enough is enough. Do not continue to tolerate the injustices that us black people has been enduring for the past 400 plus years. We truly appreciate you. Thank you. The topic of this video is to ask you to take your knees off our neck. It's time to let us breathe. I know you fear us in many aspects of this world, and I understand your fear, your fears. I tell you what, you have nothing to worry about. We are not looking for revenge, although we would be justified to take revenge, but we're not that kind of people. By nature, we are peaceful people. Take your knees off our neck, you'll see how we flourish. Even the playing field, even the playing platform, see how it surpass you. Through your legislations, makes all the necessary changes so we can breathe by taking your knees off our neck. We all know how you've been holding us down for the past 400 plus years. Throughout this world, not just in America, throughout this world. I was born in a country that was the first country to revolt from the mistreatment, from slavery. Until this day, this country is still paying the price of revolting. We know what the old racist white people are capable of, because we are the example of it. You made the example out of us as a nation to not be the example of many other nations that were succumbed to slavery so they would not revolt. So you can always keep your interests intact. We know what you have been doing for the past however many years it has been. 400 plus years, 500, whatever the amount is. We are smart enough today to know. Even the platform, even the playing field, you see how we surpass you in every aspect of life. I know my history, how you tried to stop us from playing many professional sports. And you see the moment you let us in, how we surpass and take over all the major sports throughout this world. You name it. Whatever sports you think of, especially in America, football, basketball, you name it, will surpass you. Okay? And I understand your fear. You know, if you even up the playing field in education, how will surpass you in that as well. Many of us, with the little bit of education that you have provided us with, we have made major strides. And we will not stop continuing to make major strides. A lot of us hold major titles throughout this country because we crawl out of the environment that you succumbed us to through your legislations, through redlining, through many different aspects of legislative laws that you have indulged us into. Once again, the number one fear of all racist white people is to have black people unite. That is their number one fear. They feel like the moment we unite, we will take revenge upon them. That's why they continue to do the division and conquering. Willie Lynch letter, divide and conquer. Because you know what we are capable of once we unite ourselves throughout this world. Not just black Americans, not just Jamaicans, not just whatever label you want to call us, Haitians, Africans, wherever we are. Once we unite ourselves, can nobody stop us. And the old racist white people didn't know that. And that's what they've been counting on, for us not to ever unite. So it is time for us to wake up and drink the coffee, man. Wake up. Don't let division keep us in the dark any longer. The advantage that we have today is technology of this world, which has done wonders for the new world. Number 2 fear, based on my experience, I feel that the old racist white people has is the fact that they're afraid of us taking their women, their children, their young girls as our companion. Let me share a story with you guys. When I was young in high school, 15, 16, 17 years old, I grew up in a predominantly racist white neighborhood, which was Levittown, New York. Yeah, I said it. It's true. If you wonder, go do research on what Levittown is all about. What Levitt, the name Levitt, is all about. Unfortunately, I was under some dire situation in which I had to be a part of that neighborhood. I'm not saying that to feel pity for me, because I flourished and I had a great experience being in that neighborhood. But where I want to get to is the fact that while I was in high school, I had many experiences with the young white girls. I remember one particular relationship in which I had, throughout high school, I had a long relationship with this specific girl. Her father was a NYPD detective for many years, but he was one of the biggest racist NYPD detectives that there is. We never met eye to eye because her daughters, was actually sneaking me and my friend, which was another brother of mine, basically, not through blood, but another young black man like me at the time, teenagers, sneaking us through the window, through the back door, knowing damn well her father would be coming at any time, which at the time was a major risk, which when you're a teenager, you don't think of how much of a risk, because this person, once they come to their house, they could have said that we came to rob them, and unfortunately killed us. Thank the higher power that did not take place, but that's the risk that we had taken at the time. And I guess fortunately for us, we survived that ordeal in which we didn't really interact, knowing how racist her parents was, especially her father being an NYPD detective. Long story short, I used to be snuck into the house through the windows, through the back doors. I don't have to spell it out. Us adults can read between the lines what was taking place. You understand? Your young girls love us. We are the cool kids on the block. Our culture, people want to be around us. Like the young kids today said, we have the swag. We swag it out. We understand you feel us because of that. It's real. I get it. Don't hate us because God created us that way. That's just the way we were built, through nature. And don't you ever forget, scientifically, our mothers are the creators of all human race throughout this world. Scientifically proven that our mother is the creator of all human race throughout this world. So in a word, you are our distant cousin. So why hate us so much? I do know why. Because you fear us. You fear knowing what we are capable of physically, mentally. But unfortunately, some of us in this world are lost. Some of us in this world succumb to your bondage, mentally and physically. Not so much physically today, but especially mentally. Some of us still have that Willie Lynch syndrome within our subconscious mind. It's time for us to wake up as a people. The queens and the kings that we are throughout this world. It's time to take today's the time that we must stand up and be the kings and queens that we were truly meant to be. It's that simple, guys. Us black people are very powerful, but we must unite ourselves. Throughout this world, we must have representation. Look at the Jewish, for example. Before their money leave their neighborhood, it has to circle through their hands at least 18 times before it leaves their neighborhood. Why can't we take an example out of that? Why can't we model our life, our way of living to be like them? Because they are a true example of what a community should be like. They unite themselves. They have representatives everywhere. They create their own economy, and nobody come and mistreat any one of them. But if you do that, they will all stand up. They have representation. We can do the same. Why don't we? What is so special about any other group or culture that we cannot do the same for our community? We have so many of us that are capable. But unfortunately, a lot of us are too caught up in personal interests and greed and not understanding that we are all in this together. That we must look out for one another. Let's create our own community. We've done it before. The Black Wall Street. That's a prime example of what we have done. We can do it again. Why stop? Why not be the kings and queens that we are? That's my challenge to all black people throughout this world. Unite and create another example of Black Wall Street. So our children can have some place or community to be a part of. Create our own job. Yes, it's beautiful that we're doing all the protesting, all the Black Lives Matter movement right now. Crying and chanting and making all the noise for people to hear our voices. But it's time for us to actually take control of ourselves. Take control of the environment. Don't succumb to other people, plight or asking for favors. We can do it all if we put ourselves together. Plain and simple. That's what we need to do. Stand up and take accountability for our own selves. Don't let people come to our community or to our unity and tell us how to live, begging for equality, when we can create our own space, our own platform, where we can give one another opportunities. That's what it's all about. Having representation and creating wealth. That's what America and obviously the whole world is all about. Creating wealth. Creating opportunities. The moment you have those economical power, you'll see how much respect as a group of people we will get. Because that is exactly what it's all about. Economic power. Having wealth. Having representation. Yes, all the protesting, asking for equal rights and justice and this and that. We've been asking that for centuries. For over 400 plus years, that's exactly what we've been asking for. It's time for us to take control of our destiny. And nobody gonna hand you anything if you don't stand up and fight for it. It's time for us to stand up and fight. right way, by uniting, by creating, by building our own wealth system, not letting people, or not begging, not asking, by taking, by doing for ourselves. That's how we get out of this injustice. Another quick example where we have to create our own economy, our own wealth, not only the education system, because once you get that diploma, if you don't have a place to practice, to follow through your learning, you're gonna be begging for a job from the people you attempting to ask for equal rights and justice. Me, for example, by profession, I am an ultrasound tech. In the professional world, we call it sonography. To be more direct, I'm a vascular tech. I also do some echo tech. I went to school for 2 years. You don't get a license. You don't get a license through any state's organization to be a professional tech. But instead there is a registry, and there is many different registry in which you can register with, so you can call yourself a professional vascular tech, echo tech, OB tech, so forth and so on. I got a registry through one of those organizations, and I was employed by these beautiful, white people, of course, because that's who has the power to employ you in this world that we live in. But going through this process and being part of the workforce, throughout the office, some of the co-workers, obviously that are white, always asking you, oh, where did you go to school? How long did you have to go to school for? Are you licensed? You do know why they ask these questions, because they will not ask their counterparts the same questions that they're asking you. They want to know if you qualify. How qualified are you to be making that kind of money in my job when I'm not making even half of the money that you are making? Fortunately, the industry that I'm a professional in is a high-paying job, close to 6 figures. Okay? And I was working in this particular office for about 5 years. And I must tell you, man, every day I was asked the same questions. It's either by the patient or by other co-workers. Because this organization had 5 different offices in which I had to go and do scanning throughout those 5 different offices. So you meet different patients, and obviously it's revolving doors as well, where some people are not professionals, where there's always new people have to work for this work environment. And I was asked that question repeatedly, over and over and over again. Where did you go to school? Are you licensed? Knowing damn well other people that's doing similar jobs, like the doctors or the nurses, the nurse practitioners, the chiropractors. They don't ask them the same questions. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I was the only black person doing that kind of work, and I was a male doing ultrasound, so I don't need to even go further. These questions, it's gonna be asked of me even more, because normally ultrasound, they relate it to being a woman doing it, but they don't understand that vascular tech and echo tech, mostly it's a male field, basically, that does the kind of study that needs to be done. Long story short, is to share with you how they will not ask their counterparts where did they go to school, what sort of license they have gotten in order for them to do the jobs that we both are qualified to do. They're quick to put what's the word? They're quick to put affirmative action as a burden or as an excuse. Oh, why do why is it that I'm qualified and that you got to get the job or the opportunity, the schooling before I do? I don't know how to answer that question. Maybe it's because the playing field is not fair. That's the reason I can think of what affirmative action is all about. But that doesn't mean I'm not qualified. I went to school. I take pride in my schooling. I educated myself to know better, and I'm very damn good at my job. Because I took the time, not even in school, to study outside of school to get better at it. Practice. I had to buy an ultrasound machine myself to practice so I can be the best I can be at my field, in my field, at my job. So I know these questions were coming, so I prepare myself. Not too many people have to, and not too many people, and not too many of our counterparts has to answer these questions. That's what I wanted to share. Okay? So this is why we must create our own opportunities. We must unite. Whatever they can do, we can do it. The protesting, the asking for equal rights, and all that is all beautiful and great. But we must start doing for ourselves and stop asking for favors. Once we create, they're gonna come to us to ask for opportunities. Not that I wanna separate black and white, this and that. We are all human, but the obvious is we're dealing in these times where we are separate, but acting as if we are equal. But we know for centuries that has not been the case. In order for us to have real results for what we are asking for, we gotta take charge and start coming together and create our own opportunity, our own economy, our own wealth system. Because ultimately, that's what society is all about. How wealthy is your group of people? Where's your representatives? We need representation, man, throughout all this. We need to unite and have representations. Politically, economically, we need to create franchises, so forth and so on. We must start doing for ourselves as a unit. We must come together and make it happen. Cannot wait on the white man, the racist white man, to come and do for you. It's never gonna happen. Get up and take charge. Do it yourself. That's how long term you're gonna get yourself, or we gonna get ourselves, in this predicament of always asking for equal rights and justice. Yes, systematically, it's a problem. It's been part of the system in which there has to be legislation to have equal rights and justice in the laws. Yes, and that's why we must get in office and do that for ourselves. Unfortunately, we did have a representation that did 8 years in the White House that did not really take care of the matters that he damn well know we had to endure and deal with. He could have passed all those legislations while he was in office. I already know that wasn't part of his agenda, but it's time to open up your eyes, man, to know who's really for you. We can do the unity, man. It's that simple. That's the only way we're gonna get out of it. Again, I'm not saying anything new. Many of us has come and shared these sentiments, these feelings, these thoughts. We've heard it many, many, many times. But this is exactly what we need to be, self-sufficient, to really have the real changes that we are looking for. That's what we need to do, guys. We need to get together. We need to unite as a group, as a culture, as a, I don't know, as everything. We need to unite. We need to unite throughout the world, not just in America, throughout the world. We need to look after one another. There's so many things we can do once we unite. We can even have a military when we unite. Why not? Throughout all the African countries, Haiti, the islands, why not? Why can't we militarize ourselves? If we unite, we must have representation. That divide and conquer, we need to take it our mental mind. We need to take it out of our mind. Unfortunately, in some of us, it has been instilled, well, never get out. But it's time to, hey, take yourself out of that mental bondage. It's not good for you as a nation, as a group of kings and queens. We need to help one another, man. We need to step up and be our brother's keepers. You see someone with lack of something, reach out, grab them, teach them, help them out. Show them that there is a better way. That's what it's all about, man. We gotta start taking accountability for one another. We must start taking accountability for one another. Yes, I understand some of us mentally are not ready to be that change, to be part of that movement. But eventually, if one of us started or doing it, they will join, they will come, because they'll see the positivity that come out of it, or what we have to offer. It's not hard, we can do it, man. Again, I took the example of the Jewish people. They are one of the most powerful group in this world. Period. The most powerful group on this earth. Especially in America. They cry wolf, they get results. Why not model our way like them and get results? Why not? Listen, man, I don't want to continue to talk. There's so many things that I can say. Yes, we're capable. Once again, the name is Neverson New Orleans.